Hey guys, Sarah Halina here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1. So, stay tuned. Alright, so first I'm going to go into my non-spoiler thoughts, so that way if you haven't seen the show yet, maybe on the fence about it, you can hear what I thought without getting spoiled. And then I'm going to dive into my spoiler thoughts. So, let's get to it. Obi-Wan Kenobi takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and it sees Obi-Wan hiding, on Tatooine. He's buried his lightsaber. He isn't using the Force. He's trying really, really hard not to draw attention to himself because the Empire is hunting Jedi. But something happens that causes Obi-Wan to dig his lightsaber back up and come out of hiding. I was excited for this show, though a little nervous at the same time. The first episodes were pretty good. They showed a lot of promise. And then it felt like they spent too much time just giving us sort of filler episodes. I didn't mind the filler episodes, but nonetheless, they were filler episodes. And then the show kind of ended with a bang a little bit. Yeah. Also, this show suffers from the prequel curse. It's not necessarily the fault of the show, and it's honestly not all that surprising either, but essentially the show tries to put viewers on the edge of their seats by having these like life or death situations, but we know how all of this plays out. So I'm not sitting there like, oh no, who's gonna die, who's gonna live, right? Because it's like, well, we kind of know the answer to that. Yeah, it doesn't make the show bad necessarily. It's just it's a prequel, midquel, whatever you want to call it. It suffers the curse nonetheless. I would say that if you like Obi-Wan as a character and are intrigued to kind of see, what he was up to at a certain point between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, then I would say check out this show because it is a really, really fun show. Yeah. Now I'm going to move into spoilers. So if you haven't seen Obi-Wan Kenobi yet, go watch it, come back here, hear what I thought. Yeah. First, I'm going to start with things that I loved. I loved the recap of the prequels before the start of episode one. Because I recently watched the prequels for my May the 4th video where I created tier lists of like Star Wars movies and series. But I know that for a lot of people, the prequels aren't exactly their go to Star Wars movie. So, it was nice to sort of get a recap and um, sort of this how we got to this point in time um, thing before the show started. Yeah. I also loved the fact that James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader. Like, it would have felt weird to hear anyone else's voice coming from Vader, even Hayden Christensen's. Um, but there is the moment in the finale where Obi-Wan slices Vader's helmet, and we get to sort of see like Hayden Christensen, Anakin on like half of, you know, the face, and then there's sort of this combo, I guess, of James Earl Jones and Hayden Christensen speaking. Like, it's like sometimes it goes back and forth between the two. Sometimes it's like a mesh of the two together. So that was a really, really cool moment. And yeah, it allowed Hayden Christensen to actually speak as Darth Vader. I also love the flashback scenes to the duel in episode 5. Because not only did it kind of make sense to like show this duel, because it showed that Obi-Wan and Anakin, kind of found each other's strengths and weaknesses. Um, but the big reason why I loved it was because we got to see Hayden Christensen on screen. I can't speak. I mean, we got to see Hayden when Anakin was in the Bacta tank being healed. And then there was a shot of him in the distance as part of Obi-Wan's hallucination. But the show promoted the fact that Hayden was going to be a part of this show. And I was like, okay, when, where, how? And I think I read online, it may be true, it may be false, I don't know, that Hayden was in the Darth Vader outfit. Again, cool. But that's only showing us his movements. Like, we're not seeing his facial expressions, we're not hearing his voice, we're just seeing him move. And that's cool. But uh yeah, just getting to see Hayden on screen as Anakin was something that I wasn't sure was going to actually happen until it happened, and I was good. I also loved the parallel shots in episode 5 where during Order 66 Anakin stabs Reva and in the present day Vader stabs Reva in the exact same way. That was a really cool parallel shot the way they cut that together. And again, another moment where we got to see Hayden on screen. I love the fact that Obi-Wan slowly kept getting stronger, because at the beginning of the show he's kind of weaker, because he's been living a normal life. He hasn't, used his lightsaber in 10 years. He hasn't used the Force in 10 years. He spent 10 years living a very normal, basic life, and we got to see that. And it was like, okay, cool, but what are you doing? Like, um, but then he gets better towards the end because he actually, starts using the Force and he starts using his lightsaber and, you know, kind of starts believing that Anakin doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, that was really cool to see Obi-Wan sort of slowly getting better and better. Um, Another thing I loved was seeing Leia. That was a complete shock for me. I wasn't following casting news or anything like that. So getting to see Leia was great. She's so adorable. She kind of sort of feels like how I would have imagined Leia to be as a child, sassy and spunky and a little too mature for her age, but still very childlike, very much a blend of both Padme and Anakin. I love getting to see her and I love getting her backstory and her past and all that. She did seem like an afterthought though in the finale, which was a little weird given how much the show kind of focused on her, but I mean, I wasn't too bothered by it. Also, she did seem like she was younger than 10, but eh, minor details, I guess. But the bond between Obi-Wan and Leia was also something that I really loved because the bond they have is so sweet. When he tells her you are the future, my heart just melted. And I mean, at least they kind of cleared up the whole "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope" speech. Because she's saying, "Oh yeah, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars," and she doesn't bring up the fact that you saved my life when I was 10. Sorry about that. I mean, allergy season kicking in, and it's also super hot. Um, yeah, but they cleared that up by Obi-Wan telling her that, um, you know, no one can know about them or it could endanger them both. So, makes sense why she's like, "Yeah, you fought with my father in the Clone Wars, and we're just gonna ignore the fact that you saved me when I was 10." That's cool. I'm glad they kinda got that out of the way. The chaos that is happening in this live stream right now, plug that in. Okay. Another thing that I loved was Force Ghost Qui-Gon. You know, he was always there, but Obi-Wan wasn't ready to see him. It was teased in the first episode when Obi-Wan is calling out to Qui-Gon. So it kinda would've sucked if we never got to see him, but we did get to see him. And it was after Obi-Wan was free from everything. Like, he just let everything go, and he was able to see his master, which is fun. It's good. Now on to what I didn't like. I did not like the lack of Luke. Um, I mean, like I said, I'm thrilled we got so much time with Leia and everything like that. She is my favorite Star Wars character. But they showed Luke in the trailer, and we got that shot in the trailer really early on. I think it was like episode 1 or episode 2 even. Like, we got that shot really early on. But it was sort of like, well, you put Luke in the trailer, so we're going to spend time with Luke. That's not at all what happened. We barely spent any time with Luke. Like, we had that little snippet from the trailer at the beginning of the show. Then we spend all this time with Leia and literally every other character on the planet. And then in the finale, we get to go to Luke. But even that was anticlimactic because um basically they're all like converging on Luke. Like, Bale sends Obi-Wan a message saying, "Look, I'm worried this rescue's taking way too long. I'm heading over to Tatooine to help Owen with the boy." Cool. Sure. Reba finds this message. So she's like, "I'm going to Tatooine." Obi-Wan's like, "Yo, I gotta go drop Leia off on Alderaan, and then I'm gonna go back to Tatooine and keep an eye on Luke." And it's like, okay, cool. But we didn't get a whole lot of Luke in the finale either. Like, we got maybe a good, like, 3 to 5 minutes, if I'm being generous with him. And it's just like, we spent all this time with Leia, which I'm happy about, but also next to no time with Luke, and you put Luke in the trailer. So, I don't know, just the lack of Luke was really just kind of a disappointment for me. Also, another thing that I didn't really like was the fact that the characters were making decisions to essentially extend the show when they really didn't have to. Like, they rescued Leia. Cool. They didn't take her straight back to Alderaan though, because we gotta go and we gotta get these Jedi and Force sensitive people, out of here because the walls are closing in. And it's like, okay, but like, this storyline should have wrapped up at the end of episode 3 or even episode 4. And instead it's like, no, we're gonna extend it till like the end of 5. And it's like, okay. Like, we see that Bale's concerned about how long the rescue's taking. Um, but also like, Bale and Bray are like keeping Leia's kidnapping on the down low. Like, they're not letting anybody know. So people are going to question where the princess is, right? Like, I mean, they made it a point at the beginning of the show to say that Leia hasn't been off of Alderaan, but we do also see that she's waving to the people of Alderaan. So, like, they know she exists. Surely they're gonna be like, "Oh, we haven't seen the princess in a while. Where is she?" It's like we could have wrapped up the whole Leia like rescue plot um basically at the beginning of the show. Like by the end of episode 3, we could have had Leia back on Alderaan with her parents, and then we could have spent the last 3 episodes with Luke, maybe. Like split the twins in half, maybe 3 episodes with Leia, 3 episodes with Luke. No, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep Leia in this limbo for basically the whole show. And it's like, okay, I don't think that's necessary, but here we are. Um, Another thing that I didn't really like was the fact that Reva was revealed to be a youngling and trying to betray Vader, and ultimately then her whole failed redemption arc. So the fact that she was the youngling at the beginning wasn't necessarily a shock to me. I don't know, maybe it was a shock to some people, but because it wasn't a shock to me, it felt like they were trying to make it this big reveal, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I kind of figured that out in episode 1. So what are you trying to tell me right now? Like, but the idea of it was a good one. The execution failed miserably. Also, like, she was working to get close to Vader, but, like, she took great joy in killing innocent people, so I guess I'm just not sure why they made her a double agent. Like, why not just make her an inquisitor, make her working for Vader, and then you could have had her go the route of Tala, where, she realizes, like, hey, maybe killing people isn't great. Maybe we don't do that. I don't know what the point of having her be the youngling at the beginning and then having her trying to betray Vader, but also taking great joy in killing people. Like, it's just like, what are you doing with this character? Like, I don't know. Just it's it's all really weird. And then it's like, oh, she's redeemed because she didn't kill Luke. Like, because she's going to Luke. She's like, look, I'm going to kill you, boy. And I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because she figured out that he's Vader's son or whether it's like, well, you mean a lot to Obi-Wan, obviously. So I'm mad at him. So I'm going to kill you. Or she's just like, you know what? I want to kill somebody. Like, I don't know what her motivation was there, but either way, she didn't kill Luke. Cool. Um, we knew she wasn't going to. But it's like Obi-Wan's like, you're free. And it's like, so she's redeemed? Like, I, I don't get it. Like, to me, her redemption didn't feel earned. I don't know. The character of Reva could have been interesting had they written her better. And they just didn't. Like, Reva was so all over the place throughout this whole, like, 6-episode journey, like, that I'm just like, why did they write her this way? Like, it's almost like they set her up to fail, but it's like, why? I don't get it. I don't get it. If anybody knows what is going on with Reva, like, at all, please let me know because I don't understand it. Yeah. Overall, I think Obi-Wan Kenobi was a fun show, even though it wasn't quite what I expected. I enjoyed many things about the show, and it was just sort of little things that bothered me, and it didn't necessarily ruin the whole show overall. Um, I think honestly, Obi-Wan Kenobi has beat out Mandalorian to become my favorite Star Wars Disney Plus show. Um, I don't know, guys. I really love the show. I think it's not perfect, but none of the Star Wars shows have been perfect. Like none of the shows, no show is perfect. No movie is perfect. Like they're not without their flaws, and it's like I feel like there's very minimal things that I disliked about this show, and then when I weigh out the positive versus the negative, I'm just like, okay, I really really like this show. And I think that's my favorite show. I don't know. I mean, I just got done with the finale like 2 hours ago, I want to say. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's all just still, riding the high of the show, and my thoughts will change later. Who knows? But right now, Obi Wan Kenobi, favorite Star Wars Disney Plus show. Yeah, but let me know, what did you all think of Obi Wan Kenobi? Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this video, leave a like, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you can be notified when I upload my latest videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye, guys.